Hello friends, it's Terry from Uncle Terry's Beginner Guitar. Today, lesson number 13, we are going to talk about what makes a major chord. Now, in earlier lessons, the last couple of lessons, we've talked about the notes of the guitar, and we won't go through that again, but we will talk about what makes a major chord and what notes make up a major chord. So let's just jump right in with the old C chord. This is what we'll call cowboy C. You'll hear that term, cowboy C, cowboy G, cowboy D. You know, cowboys sitting around the campfire, they're not playing crazy chord inversions. Or minor seventh chords. They are playing just strum along chords and singing their songs, and that's really all you need in a lot of ways. But we're trying to learn some theory and improve our playing and our familiarity with the keyboard and help learn to transpose to different keys and play leads and all that. So we're going to talk about what makes up a major chord. Now, what is a chord? A chord is basically just two or more notes that are played together to give some sort of harmonious sound to the guitar. Now, in classic music theory, the major chord is three notes, and there are three specific notes along the scale for that chord. So for a C chord, you've got, starting with C, a major chord is made up of notes 1, 3, and 5 in its scale. So remember the old C scale, we talked about that. So 8 notes in the scale, but we're going to use 1, 3, and 5. So what are 1, 3, and 5? Well, you just go up the alphabet. C would be 1, D would be 2, E would be 3, and then F would be 4, and G would be 5. So 1, 3, 5 would be C, E, and G. So you need to have the C, E, and G notes, and really nothing else, to make up the major chord of C. So everybody knows the old C chord, cowboy C. And so let's just go through our notes. So to make cowboy C, you've got your ring finger on the A string 3rd fret, your middle finger on the D string 2nd fret, and your index finger on the 2nd string, the B string 1st fret. So what notes are those? Well, you got your C note here, this A string, A, B flat, B, no such thing as B sharp, C, and then on the D string, you got D, E flat, E, and then on this B string, you've got B up to C. And then you've got an open G here on the 3rd string, and an open E here on the 1st string. So what do we want for C? We want C, E, and G. So we've got our C, we've got our E, we've got a G, we've got another C, we've got another E. So you can have more than one of the notes, more than one C note, more than one G note, more than one E note, but it has to be those 3 notes and really nothing else. So that's a C chord. C, E, and G. All right, let's do another cowboy chord. Let's do a G. Lots of songs in G. So, what is our triad of notes that make up a G? 1, 3, 5. So we got G, our root, and then A would be 2, B would be 3, and then C would be 4, D would be 5. So 1, 3, 5, you got G, B, and D. You need G, B, and D to make up a G major chord. So do we have that? Well, our standard cowboy G, we've got our G note here. On the A string, we've got our B note here. Then we got an open D. Another G here, open G on the third string. Open second string is B. And then third fret on the E string, that's another G. So we have G, B, and D covered and nothing else. So that is why our good old friend, the G chord, is a G major chord. Because it's got that triad of 1, 3, 5, G, B, and D. All right, let's do the D chord. So, what would be the triad of notes to make up a D chord? Well, you've got your root, the D. You've got the third would be F, but with the D, remember, you have to sharp the F. So that would be F sharp. And then A would be the fifth note of the scale. D, E, F, G, back to A. So 1, 3, 5 would be D, F sharp, and A. So here's our cowboy D. So we've got our D note here. We've got our A here on the G string, second fret. We've got another D here on the B string, third fret. That's a D. And we need our F sharp, and that's it here on the E string, second fret. So we've got our D, our F sharp, and our A all covered. And there's our cowboy D. And that's why this chord is a D major chord. All right, let's do A. Cowboy A. So we have our A note is our root. What would be the third? A, B, C. But with an A scale, you need to sharp the C. So it would be C sharp would be our third note. And then D would be 4. And then E would be 5. So 1, 3, 5 would be A, C sharp, and E. So do we have that? Well, we've got our open A here on the 5th string. We're playing an A chord. We've got our E here on the D string, 2nd fret. We've got our another A here on the G string, 2nd fret. And we've got a C sharp on the B string, 2nd fret. And then we've got an open E here. So that is the triad of notes that make up an A chord. A, C sharp, and E. All right, let's do one chord that we can use a bar chord. Let's do F. So this cowboy might play an F down here like this, or use a bar chord and play an F like that. So what triad of notes does it take to make an F chord? Well, you have your F, number 1, the root, and then G would be 2, A would be 3, and then B would be 4, and C would be 5. So you need an F, an A, and a C. So do we have that? Well, when we're playing our big bar chord F, we've got our F here on the low E string 1st fret. We've got our C here on the A string 3rd fret. We've got another F here on the D string 3rd fret. On the G string, we got our 2nd fret, and that is an A. On our B string, we got the 1st fret because we're barring all the strings on the 1st fret with our index finger. So we've got a C note on the B string, 1st fret. And then on the high E string, we're on the 1st fret, and that's another F. So F major, we got our F, we got our A, and we've got our C, and we don't have anything else. So that is an F major. Now, with our bar chords, one of the beauties of bar chords is you can move them up and down the neck. So let's say we moved it up 1/2 step. What would that be? Well, F half step up would be F sharp. This will be F sharp. We won't go through all the notes, but trust me, it would work out that the triad would be 1, 3, and 5 notes and the F sharp scale. If we go up to the 3rd fret, that would be a G, and our notes that we need to make up a G would be included in this bar chord, G, B, and D. So that is a major chord, and what makes up a major chord? Again, it's the 1st, 3rd, and 5th notes in the scale for that chord. So we're going to get, in the next lessons, we're going to get to keys, the chords that are included in certain keys. And that's going to help us learn to play songs. And we're going to talk about how to transpose from one key to another. We'll talk about minor chords. We haven't really talked about minor chords too much yet, but we'll talk about what makes a minor chord a minor chord. And then we'll go on from there. So I hope all are doing well and have a great day.